I think George Osborne did as well as he could in the circumstances, and business has welcomed many of the measures that were taken in the budget. Of course, the most important thing is that he's sticking to his plan to reduce the fiscal deficit relatively quickly. The bad news from his point of view is that the growth figures have been reduced from earlier forecasts. This emphasises really that the government's entire strategy is dependent not so much on controlling public spending, which is what they say, but actually on having growth in the economy. If there isn't growth in the economy, the deficit is not going to be dealt with. Indeed, the deficit would grow. There's no sign that growth is petering out. There's no sign that we're going to go into a double-dip recession. But neither is there any sign of growth anywhere near the trend rate of growth that we might hope for or might expect. So I'm afraid the prospect appears to be several years of rather uninteresting growth, taking quite a long time, therefore, to reduce the deficit, a period in which the living standards of families will be under extraordinary pressure. It seems unlikely that wage settlements are going to keep pace with inflation, and people are going to be paying extra, at least in indirect taxes, even if they're getting something back in direct taxes. Quite a difficult position for the coalition to find itself in, because who knows where we'll be at the end of 5 years. But let's just put this in a slightly broader context. Britain is not unusual in the OECD here. What's happening is that 2/3 of the world, the developed world, is growing only at about 2%. The other third, the developing world, is growing at 6 or 7%. The developed world is hugely dependent on growth in the developing world, and the United Kingdom is just part of that global problem. But really, there's not much in the medium-term outlook for growth in Britain or in the OECD for anyone to get very excited about.